Welcome back, everybody. We are about to get into a fabled battle with Susan Snow. These adventurers here have, well, they have progressed to the highest they can within the storied tier of adventurers. And while normally for our boss battles we would spin the wheel as it's a holiday, and per DnDTime tradition, on holidays these boss battles get incorporated into the holiday season. So you have an upcoming battle against a figure that you've now met as Susan Snow. But as always, I'd like to take a brief moment and talk to our heroes here. I'm also interested in what all of your holiday traditions are. So without further ado, we have, like, Callie, the Dragonborn Cleric. Callie, welcome.
How are you? Oh my god, Jerapete, I need to rant.
Did you just call me Jerapete?
Jerapete, I don't know which one of you two I'm talking to, so you're Jerapete.
That's like completely reasonable, like, Callie. Go ahead and rant, please.
So, I had Balloon, but, oh my god, Balloon is, the worst god ever. So, every morning, I'm, preparing my spells, and he, tells me, you can do it. I need his permission to do things. Who does he think he is? And then...
Yeah, sorry, go on. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Go, please.
And then every day he, sends me flowers. He's, literally telling me I stink. I, don't even know where I put these. I just end up burning them. And so, I talk to him, and I'm like, okay, I can't worship you anymore. And do you know what he says?
What?
He says, I understand. He, doesn't even try to keep me. What am I, chopped liver?
Callie?
He, literally told me I suck.
Callie? This guy is totally not right for you. He's been a real jerk to you when all you've done is give him your everything, and I think that you're better off without him.
Oh my god, I'm so glad that you understand. And
yes.
Jerapete. So Jerapete, I actually don't have a god right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering if you can be my god. You're a magical voice in the sky.
I don't know if I have the ability to do that, but I mean, I can try. You know what? I'll see what I can do. I'll see if we can send some spells. I'm going to do my best. I've never tried to grant a cleric spells before, but if I can, I will do so.
That's awesome. So, what kind of hammer do I get?
It's probably, well, it's mostly made of cloth, and the top of it, well, it's shaped kind of like a bow tie.
I'll accept it. Anyways, back to the solstice.
Very good. Callie, just one quick word on what's your favorite solstice tradition?
Getting presents.
Fair enough. Welcome, Callie. It's good to have you back.
Thanks for listening to me rant.
Of course, anytime. Next up, we have a character that we've not seen in a very long time, but I'm very pleased to welcome back. We have Orwell Nox. Welcome.
Hello.
Orwell, would you care to remind everyone a little bit about who you are, and also, what's your favorite solstice tradition?
I am a powerful wizard that had my powers stolen from me.
Really?
By whom? I don't really know. I suspect Bartholomew, but can't be sure. Lately, I've been saving a species on the verge of extinction. They were little monkeys.
Small monkeys, tiny monkeys?
Yes. Well, I've determined that they must be saved because they are absolutely delicious.
Oh dear.
Oh dear, that's not what I was expecting to hear.
Orwell, you were there when the tiny monkeys were first. They first escaped from the zoo, weren't you?
Yes, we captured a few, and I took some home, and have been calling on others to aid me raise them. Surprisingly, that high priest guy, who was afraid would just eat them all.
Oh, he didn't eat them all. I was going to say it's not surprising because I was so
all of them. He ate a few, and then I convinced him that it would be wise to keep as many alive as possible to further breed them. So you'd always have
for consumption. Orwell, what's your favorite solstice tradition?
Well, recently it's been eating baby monkeys. But aside from that, I spend most of the holiday with my enormous family.
Is everyone doing well? Do you enjoy spending time with your?
It's really hard to keep tabs. There's 400. Like grandchildren, great-grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren, cousins, whatnot combined.
I mean, that sounds like an incredible solstice dinner that you must all share together.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I mean, perhaps so it would have to be, I guess. I don't know, my family's not nearly so large, but Orwell, welcome back. I'm glad you're here.
Yes.
Next up, we have Grilliam Inferno, the Fire Ganassi cleric. Welcome, Grilliam. How are you?
I'm doing well, and I feel this might sound ironic, but I feel I'm in my happy place this time of year.
Really? I would have thought that this would have been the season that I would have thought you were more of a summer type, Grilliam.
Oh, I do like the summer, I will admit, but this is a love. But I also enjoy the snow. You know why? Because I just enjoy watching it melt.
You know, Grilliam, everyone's trying to enjoy this this lovely and cool time of year with all of the snow. Does Grilliam actively just break apart snow where'er he finds it?
No, I do not. No, I do not.
It's just a coincidence.
No, I'm not one to ruin anyone's fun. Besides, speaking of traditions, what I like to do is, you know how naughty kids always like to get coal. I
don't know if they like to get it, but I do know that they get it. Yes, on the solstice.
Yeah,
when Solstice Man
make
comes.
that coal. I usually make that coal, and in addition, if someone gets really bad, I will set that stocking on fire. I will literally set that stuff.
Grilliam is kind of an avatar of justice this time of year. A strange, like, vigilante child punisher.
Yeah, you better watch out. You better not cry or I'll burn your house down. I'm telling you what. Grilliam.
This is a side of Grilliam. This is a side of Grilliam I've not yet seen. And I mean, I was going to ask you what your favorite solstice tradition is, but it sounds like your favorite solstice tradition is burning the houses of naughty children at
No, don't worry. I don't actually burn them. Don't worry.
Oh, okay, just the stockings. Just the stockings. Oh, fair enough.
But that burning the house down part just makes it fit better in the song.
Oh, of course. Grilliam, welcome tonight. It's good to have you.
Thank you.
And last, but of course not least, we have Lillili of the Trash Kingdom. Lillili, how are you?
I'm doing well, thanks for asking. How are you, sweetie?
I'm doing very well. Oh, that's very nice of you. Such a friendly greeting. Lillili, how have you been? What have you been up to lately?
Oh, well, I've been recovering after that last incident at the pit, but I've been doing pretty.
I'm glad to hear that. What is Solstice like in the Trash Kingdom? What do you get up to down there?
Well, we celebrate it a little bit later than everyone else, mostly when all the broken toys and leftover wrappings start coming.
I feel like there's something very unique about that experience because they just kind of rain down from the sky, which I feel like is probably a very satisfying Solstice experience as a child.
Yeah, it sure is something.
That's so good. Lillili, now, as a kid, were you told any kind of story as to why the trash rains down from the sky, or why like presents rain down from the sky at the solstice time of year? Was like a particular kind of Solstice Man-esque figure, or Grilliam Claus-esque figure created in the Trash Kingdom, or did you just know that you would get some presents this time of year without any lore ascribed to it necessarily?
Well, it is a strange phenomenon that no one's really explained, but in the Trash Kingdom, we usually wait, like I said, till a few days later when all the toys that rain down elsewhere and maybe weren't as loved start coming into the Trash Kingdom, and that's when we really celebrate.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm really glad to see that these kind of misfit toys that perhaps did not find love in other homes get a chance to be appreciated by individuals such as yourself. And Lillili, I'm just glad to have you here tonight as well. So,
Like, my girl Lillili, I got you a present.
For me?
Like, yeah, it's like my favorite outfit. Like, I already wore it twice, so it's like practically trash already.
Oh, wow, that'll be the nicest thing I've ever owned.
Might be a little big, but like I think you'll grow into it.
Sure. I mean, size doesn't really matter.
Like, I hope you like it. Okay, go on, JRP.
Very good. And you see now to your side Bartholomew, as the five of you are currently walking through some of the snow, a little bit away from the festivities. You've had kind of a good chunk of the afternoon, and Bartholomew sent the four of you a message asking you at some point during the day to kind of meet him a little bit outside of the festival grounds for some important business that he needed to discuss with you. And you kind of have gathered up now, and Bartholomew's just kind of speaking to you. The sounds of the kind of, the Solstice Day festivities fading into the background to a degree. We still hear the band kind of playing in the distance. The wind picks up, and Bartholomew, I needed to bring you all a little bit separate here in order to discuss a matter of great importance. You've, of course, seen that Susan Snow by now, yes?
Yes, you're
You mean this
familiar that
jam?
outwitted you.
Familiar is not the word. It's a homunculus, a lot more complicated than a familiar. It's a familiar with sentience, for one thing, so thank you very much, Orwell. I'd like to see you create I'm sorry.
I have created a homunculus, you know that.
Like, I can make a snowman right here. Can it, like, beat you at stuff?
Do you have the ability to infuse it with life and consciousness and hopes and dreams?
Like, do you have a magic top hat?
Yes, several, but none that I am going to give you in this
Doesn't
moment.
an adventurer have that?
Oh, you mean specifically the one that creates...
The one that was in the bag.
Yes, there is someone specifically that has that. I believe it is Kuroga, but I'm not certain. That is all again. These things are all aside the point. I need to absolutely crush Susan in the snowball fight that's going to be happening in a little bit. And, well, normally we face one-on-one. And it is an absolute massacre, because part of our contract originally was that I wasn't allowed to use magic in the snowball fight. But I have convinced her that we can both bring teams this year, and you are the most powerful adventurers here, and as such, I need your help in defeating my arch-rival, Susan Snow.
So it's you, Bartholomew, plus the four of us versus Susan Snow's team.
Yes, I've been doing some exercises recently. I've built up a little bit more musculature. He holds up his arm. It is identical to the way it has always been, visually speaking. And he goes, I think I'm ready to take her down with your assistance, and I will need assistance.
Oh, you've been going to physical therapy too, then?
It is important to maintain one's body. So... I will need your help. That is all there is to it. It'll be starting relatively soon. That Susan is a dastardly one. I don't know what plans she has. She's arranged some type of arena over in the Candy Forest over yonder, and he points to it. And you can see there's just a big walled fenced around a part of the Candy Forest in the style that one expect in our world, like a paintballing location or something like that. There's stands people are going to be watching, so we're going to be in the public view, so put on a good show, just because it's a good idea to do so. And, well, absolutely destroy Susan by any means necessary.
So, like, what are the rules?
Yes, I was going to get to that. Allow me to explain the rules. You see, what you want to do is get as much fire as you can. And as he's saying that,
Fire?
you see, yes, out of the snow, you see kind of coalescing and forming in the space the figure of Susan Snow wearing the rainbow-colored Bartholomew robe that Bartholomew lost to her all those years ago. And she looks... Bartholomew's here is, I see, already trying to cheat. No, there is no fire allowed. No offensive abilities can be used in the snowball match. You can only use, and just in her hand, she conjures a perfectly circular snowball. Snowballs! Once someone has been struck by snowballs 3 times, they are out. Once every individual in the snowball match is eliminated, well, then that team loses. Is that all very clear? Keep in mind, you can't actually hurt anyone, none of my snow friends. And you see behind her, coalescing in the snow, you see just 4 more kind of minion-y looking snowmen kind of pop out, and they all kind of wave and just go, yeah, 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 yeah.
So to be clear, we can't attack the enemy team with offensive magic.
I'm going to stop you right there. That sounded like you were trying to make some kind of loophole that I don't fully understand what that loophole would be. But the only way to score any points and get someone out of the game is to hit them with a snowball. And the only way to, well, okay, if you use offensive magic or in any way to hurt somebody physically, that would be including you using your fire. I don't even like looking at you. It's terrifying to just look in your general direction to melt me or my friends. Then you are disqualified and immediately removed from the match. Is that clear?
Wouldn't you be dead?
Yeah.
Well, no, I would reform. I would become water and then slowly work my way back into snow.
I'm sorry if I actually terrify you with my sheer appearance.
Yeah, the ground around you is just kind of at this point back down to green kind of Candy Kingdom grass, which is of course kind of a licorice grass that grows very fine, and all of the other snowmen are kind of like edging away, keeping a close eye on you, Grilliam, she goes, so other than that, everything is on the table. And yes, I would die, but I would come back eventually, so it would be fine. But don't do it, because I don't want to. Are you ready to...
I have one question real quick.
Yes.
So we're allowed to use spells that'll help ourselves out?
So long as they don't hurt someone directly.
Are you
All right.
immune to cold damage?
Yes. I'll just be honest, yes I am.
And
No
your
winter
friends?
wind. I can't speak for them. I'm not them. And they, in the back, you hear, yeah.
Well, anyway, I'm ready for a snowball fight whenever you are, and I don't really usually tell a lot of people this, but I actually can control my body temperature.
And Grilliam, do you like simmer down a little bit to stop melting the snow around you?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
I guess you need to hold a snowball.
Yeah, I do have to hold a snowball after all.
Yeah, it's like your snowballs probably last slightly less long than in your hands than other people's, but that's just that's just part and parcel of being you, Grilliam. She goes, great, let us get underway. We're gonna go ahead and set up on the opposite side. You guys can set up here. Just wait by the entry gate and there will be a pop start. And she looks over to another snowman that coalesces, who goes, I'm ready to do the pop start at any time. And he's got another little popper in his hand like he started for the last event. And may the best snow woman win. I'm implying that I'm gonna win.
So, like, what can we use to, like, throw these snowballs?
So I'm just going to ray and frost them.
She kind of ducks backwards, and so you guys have a little bit of time to strategize before you go in, if you would like to do so. You get a minute or so before the thing starts.
So, like, Bartholomew, you've done this before.
Yes.
Like, you've lost, so I'm not sure if you're, like, the best person to ask, but, like, what do we use to, like, throw these snowballs?
I've been using my hands.
Why don't you just ray and frost them?
I'm not allowed to use magic in this battle, me specifically at all. Because she was like, well...
Because you are the most powerful wizard after all.
Yes, I am the most powerful wizard, yes. She said, because she thought like, well, you could just wish to never get hit by a snowball. And I agreed, and so she said that was unfair, which I thought was preposterous. We had a bit of a falling out, as you can see.
But do we, like, throw these, like, with a sling, or, like, we throw darts?
You throw them with our hands like you throw a ball at a dog to it to fetch.
That is exactly correct. If you have another method of utilizing the snowball, you are welcome to do so however you wish. I will be using my hands, as I do not have weapons or proficiencies in anything.
Now, is this arena limited?
The fence.
The fence.
There's a big fence.
So, like,
if they didn't have any snow, they couldn't throw snowballs.
They can conjure them very easily. I mean, they are made of snow, so Susan has absolute mastery of snow. I get slaughtered every year.
So, like, who has the best throwing here?
Susan, undoubtedly.
No, like, among us.
Oh, then I don't know. Probably me.
I mean, I have Ray of Frost, so I can shoot snowballs.
Does that like count?
I don't see why not.
It counts to me.
The only
Okay.
person that probably gets get hurt by snowballs is me. I won't
So,
lie.
like-
A snowball will actually sting me.
Like Lillili, how good are you at throwing snowballs?
I'm pretty good at it.
Like on a scale of 1 to 5, or 0, negative 5 to 5.
Just, okay, to be
At
clear for the
about a
mechanic-
3.
To be clear for the mechanic of how snowballs are going to work, if you don't have any other fancy method of throwing snowballs, all of you are going to be considered proficient in snowballs, and you can add either your dex or your strength.
Like, okay, that's what I need to know.
Okay, yeah, just,
So it's gonna be
I realized what you were trying to get to. Finally.
So D20 plus proficiency plus strength. Got it. Or
Yes.
or dex.
Or-
Got it.
Like, great. So, like, you're like a 3.
Also, keep in mind
brilliant.
that wearing armor does not prevent you from getting hit in the armor with a snowball, which still counts as a hit.
Oh my
so-
god, like, there's a shield.
A shield would be still function, but armor, bonus to armor class from armor will not help you. Your
What
raw
about-
dex or shield.
What
about
about,
the
like,
shield
magical
stuff?
armor?
That also would count, because that stops the snowball before it gets you.
Okay, like, I'm gonna be, like, a kind of big target, so... I'm gonna, like, trust you guys on this. Can we, like, wipe off snow with magic and make it not count?
No, sir.
That
What if
I
they
don't think it's. Once you're hit with a snowball, you're hit. There's no.
I mean, maybe. You'll have to wait and see on that one. She got some tricks.
Well, that's very well.
Okay, like, I think I have a plan. I'm, like, not sure if it's gonna be allowed, but, like, we're gonna find out.
I'm going to send my owl to harass them and pretend I don't know this bird.
All right, your owl flies off to the other side. It begins harassing them. You can see as you look through it with your fine familiar. They're all gathered around, just kind of standing. They're not really talking about the snowball fight too much. They're just kind of having polite conversation. But you do hear the one that has the weird deep voice kind of go, and Bartholomew goes down immediately, right? And Susan just goes, oh yes, absolutely.
So, they're going to get talking to you, Bartholomew, so I think we should target Susan.
Agreed. If Susan's gone, I think this will be a cakewalk.
Like, so, like, I have this thing, it's, like, called Spiritual Weapon. It usually makes, like, a shadow version of me, or, like, a plant version of me. I'm not sure what it'll be this time.
And
but,
as
like,
you're
can
saying
that throw
this-
snowballs?
As you're saying this, Kelly, you hear a big pop on the other side, implying that the battle has now begun.
I fire.
Run to the battle. Run to the battle.
You just throw a snowball out into the space. It flies into a tree and hits.
Do we roll initiative now or?
Yeah, roll initiative right now. I'm also going to roll a couple of initiatives.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, Callie, you were in the middle of saying something there. You hear the thing go off as you're saying that. The arena seems large enough. You can't see them across the other side of it. You also can see like a couple of like structures at different points around it.
So, like, I can't see anything?
You can't see any enemies as of yet.
Okay, like, then I'm just gonna, like, stick with the group and hold my action
Alright.
for, like, when I see something.
Okay.
Oh, actually, I'm gonna, like, summon this right now.
You conjure a spiritual weapon.
Like, what does my Kelly look like, JRP?
Your spiritual weapon in this instance, like I said, looks like a very large bow tie, with kind of a handle coming off of it, so the bow tie makes the top of the hammer.
So, like, it doesn't even look like me? Wow.
Oh wait, this is your Callie. I forgot. It's Callie, but your head is much smoother. It's just
Okay.
kind of a bald Callie.
Like, as long as it could, like, throw something.
Yes. Very good. you conjure your spiritual weapon. The space is relatively silent. The band that's over up in the grandstands is still kind of playing. Yeah, there's trees around for like miscellaneous cover. There's some kind of large construction towards the center of the space. And then all around the side, there's a couple like smaller ones that seem to be erected.
Well, like I said, I'm going to use like my movement to stick with
And
the
just-
Druid.
and- all right,
Otherwise,
cool.
we-
All right, what is everyone else doing? Grilliam?
I have a question. How deep is the snow we're standing on if I'm not melting it with my feet?
The snow you're in, it's pretty well packed, and you kind of scoop some out, and it doesn't seem to, like, this place seems to have a little extra in it. And so, you can't go all the way to the bottom, but at least like over a foot, maybe 2.
Like one question: does like making a snowball take any like?
Yeah, you have to bend down and make a snowball to make a snowball.
Then like I would make a snowball.
All right, that takes an action, so you just do that. You pick up some snow and walking around with a snowball. Grilliam?
I'm good. I'm ready. I'm just got a snowball.
You make a snowball. You're walking alongside Orwell and Lillili.
I will hide behind. Take some cover and look through the eyes of my owl to get a visual on the enemy team.
All right. You look through the eyes of your owl, and they are no longer at the starting gate where the owl was kind of hanging around harassing them.
I'll have it move around, fly around.
Yeah, you have it begin trying to like scope out. That's going to bring us to. Oh, I gotta roll one more initiative. Bartholomew, who is going to kind of step out. You see Bartholomew makes a snowball, and he looks at the 2 that are next to you. He's walking with you, Grilliam and Callie. Just goes, I'm going straight for the big thing at the middle. That's probably the best spot. And he starts kind of jogging a little bit ahead with a snowball.
I'll help you, Bartholomew, and I want to jog with Bartholomew.
Like,
All right.
Lillili, my girl, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Lillili, it's your turn.
So she's gonna move out into the middle of the field if she can. I'm not sure how big the field is.
The space you're in is several hundred feet in kind of diameter. So it's pretty large. There's a lot of cover all over the place. There's trees. There's a couple of open spots, it looks like, but all of those places have kind of like artificial cover manufactured there. You see like snowbanks and stuff that have been built up.
Okay, she's gonna move out into the open and make a snowball.
All right. You're going. You're intentionally trying to put yourself in like a space where you're visible.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So you begin moving over. It's a little bit of a patch of forest, so it's probably going to take me one more round to kind of get in range of the kind of particular spot where, the big open area is. But you make a snowball and start kind of working there, not bothering to get behind cover in a lot of places. And very quickly, and almost immediately, as Bartholomew begins kind of rushing forward, you just see out of the woods up ahead, you just see from kind of behind trees, just a few kind of seemingly twigs is what it looked like that were coming out of the sides of a couple of trees. They apparently got there one incredibly fast, and all of a sudden a volley of snowballs is launched at Bartholomew as in rapid succession 3 snowballs strike Bartholomew directly in the face, and it seems these snowmen mean business.
Oh. Well,
and Bartholomew goes, "This is what happens every year," and runs away, looking very sad as he's now been eliminated.
You walked out into the middle, you idiot!
That's going to bring us now to the top of the initiative proper. Their arms are kind of sticking out. It looks like there were 2 snowmen there in total, and between them they threw 3 snowballs, which means one of them is probably pretty good, and they're just kind of ducking behind cover of the trees, disguising their arms like twigs, like candy cane twigs along the side of the trees here. But they have used their one move here, which means they are just in initiative proper now. Like, Callie, what do you want to do?
Like, how far away are they?
There's 2 of them. They're about 60 feet ahead. They were throwing on the kind of outside range of about what you could expect to throw a snowball, which is 60 feet for the record.
Okay, so like, does anyone have a good, like, can anyone see that?
You can only see their like twiggy arms and they're ducked behind trees. You'd have to like move a little bit around, but you think you could get like a little bit of an angle on one of them if you did.
Okay, like, I'm gonna like, I guess like, I'm just gonna hold with my boys here and my girl.
All right.
And I'm just gonna hold my action until like we all, or at least I can get a better shot.
Okay. Do you want to duck behind? You want to duck behind cover, or do you want to stay out, kind of in the relative open? I mean, there's like trees and stuff, but
I'll like duck behind cover.
All right.
And like wait for them to come out.
You take a defensive stance behind a tree.
And like Shadow or like present me is gonna like be with me.
All right. Very good. That Shadow Callie is standing next to regular Callie.
Like
and
present Callie now or something.
a present Callie. Yes. And that is going to bring us then to the next in initiative, which is Grilliam. What do? Your ally, you're running up to the kind of middle barrier with him excitedly. In an instant, he falls before you. The snowmen cackle in the distance.
I'm just gonna look really pissed and be like, "Oh, two can play at this game," and then I'm going to. If I'm ahead, not with everyone else, am I able to see the snowmen better?
They have what would be considered 3/4 cover against you at the moment.
Well, in that case, two could play at the cover game. So I'm going to go to a snowbank, and I'm going to duck behind it and plant my shield on top of the bank, so I have even more cover on me.
Okay. You run over and dive behind. Are you gonna want to move over to like the area where Lillili is? Because Lily is moving over to where a lot of like the big snow moguls and snow kind of barriers are.
I'll move to where Lillili is, and I'll use the shield on top of the snowbank to give myself even taller cover.
All right, yeah. Ducked behind the snowbank. Like right now, you're the equivalent of prone, but you also have total cover between the shield and the snowbank. You're completely defended from all angles at the moment as you hunker down and prepare for the onslaught.
And like I'm using my movement just to keep with him.
Okay. Yeah, Lillili, you're like a little bit away from the snowbank, or do you want to also just go down? You want to have? I'm sorry, I said Lillili, but I meant to say Callie. Do you want to have also gone under the snow barricade?
Like my ready action is just like follow him. So I guess I need.
Okay, so you also duck down behind the snowbank.
I have created cover.
That is going to bring us then to Orwell. Oh no, I'm sorry, it's one of the snowmen. One of the snowmen readies in action. Orwell, what do you want to do?
I will. How far are they from me? I stayed back a bit.
If you were hanging back a little bit, they are maybe 90 feet, or not quite, maybe like 80 feet or so. You didn't walk too far because you were still walking like a little bit. So yeah, I'd say 80 feet from you.
All right. I'll direct my owl to fly at them.
Your owl needs. How fast can your owl move?
Let's find out. Let me go look up an owl.
Because your owl was just on the other side of the arena, which is about like 600 feet in diameter.
60 feet per.
All right, so your owl's working its way back, but it's going to need a little bit of a.
Working its way downtown.
Yeah, walking fast, making faces past, and it hoots by.
Yeah.
So yeah, a little bit.
I will move up 20 feet to hopefully to still be behind cover.
All right. As you're moving in between cover, in the moment before you get to that tree, the one that is going to use its ready to action in order to toss a snowball your way, he will throw a snowball now.
Does he like expose himself by doing this?
Yes, but you used your ready to action to follow, so you don't have a ready to action right now, do you?
Like, I thought like a ready action can have movement and an action.
No, it's just like a one thing. Ready to action actually can't technically have movement, but I was allowing it because it made sense.
Oh, like, okay.
You throw up a barrier of force in front of it. The snowball just kind of turns into steam and dust as it. But normally, in throwing a snowball, he would, make himself a little bit more available. But he's throwing mostly from behind cover. But definitely easier in that moment, you'd think. And yeah, you throw up the snowball behind the mist, and you are now also taking cover behind a tree.
And fire at it.
Ooh, 15. Unfortunately, that just kind of strikes right into just so close. It just strikes right into the edge of the tree, and some of the snow kind of like splashes to the side as he ducks back behind his cover.
Interesting use of Ray of Frost as a snowball, not gonna lie.
Counts. That's what it seems like. That's kind of what they're doing. Just kind of conjuring snowballs in their hands and then throwing them. Anything else on your turn, Orwell?
That's it.
All right, that is going to bring us then to Lillili. What do you want to do?
So, I already know there's the two kind of behind the trees. Was it a different one that had thrown that snowball?
No, one of them is out of a ready to action, and the other one hasn't taken their turn yet.
Okay, so I only generally know where two of them are then, and not more. So.
Yeah, you've only seen two of them so far.
Okay, I am going to go ahead and actually move closer to them, but kind of off to the left a bit.
All right.
And then I'm going to cast Fairy Fire.
Ooh.
And
yeah, and they're close enough to get both of them.
Yeah, and hopefully catching them, and if there happens to be any other ones around. No, except maybe that one.
One of them succeeds, and one of them, I assume, fails on a 6. And I assume succeeds on a 19. So, yeah, the two of them are bathed in what color light?
Brown.
An ethereal brown light engulfs one of the snowmen, marking him as easier to strike as you kind of strafe around to the side, and I assume take cover behind one of like the snow moguls in the chunk that you're at right now.
Yeah, I'm actually going to take cover now.
All right, cool. You drop down behind, and you have a pretty good visual on these two snowmen, who are now, as you guys are all like hunkering down in the space, starting to get a little bit pinned down, it looks like. One of them readies an action, and the one who threw takes a few steps backwards and kind of positions himself diagonally behind a tree, such that since most of you have gone off to the left, except Orwell is going to stay in the forest, so you guys can have a little bit of a right angle on them right now in terms of how you're spread out, with Lillili at the top, and then Callie and Grilliam in kind of the middle, and then Orwell at like the bottom. So that one's trying to like spread himself out a little bit more to line up with Lillili, so they don't get completely surrounded. The other one readies an action, and that is going to be their turn. And that's going to bring us, I think, back to the top of the initiative. I didn't forget anyone. No. So that's going to be like Callie. What do you want to do?
So, like, how far is everyone from me?
You can hit anyone where you are right now, in theory.
I mean, like, my allies.
Grilliam is right next to you. Lillili is about 30 feet to your side, since she was headed this way originally, and Orwell is about 30 feet behind you, both off at a little bit of a different angle.
Okay, then, like, let's start this off nice. Like, Orwell, take your shot.
Oh. Very well.
Take your shot.
And who are you blessing?
Like, everyone except me.
All right. You all have an additional D4 bonus, and Ray of Frost is going to fly outwards. Yeah, they have a good deal of cover, and even though you were, I assume, attacking at the one that's Fairy Fire, granting you advantage, that is not going to hit with a 13.
16.
Oh, 16 does hit. Just barely. As the Ray of Frost flies outwards, you strike at this individual. It kind of like right, because he's right behind the tree. You manage to catch him just at the kind of edge of it. Go ahead and roll damage on that. which is
You thought you
irrelevant.
rolled-
Yeah, it's irrelevant.
sure.
It's completely irrelevant. It's just
Cold.
fun. You deal 4 cold damage. It's a pretty good snowball. I just, out of habit, I said roll damage. And you strike this individual. He has 1 point on him. This snowman is closer to defeat.
And like, because he's tagged, present Callie is gonna like take her shot
Ooh.
and like fail.
All right. You that kind of fake Callie runs over and goes to attack, but does not succeed in doing so. But you also hear kind of a voice call out, one of the snowmen kind of calls out, "Hey, I think that's cheating. Is that cold damage?"
Like, doesn't matter if it can throw a snowball.
If it's not a snowball, it's not a snowball. Rules is rules. Anything else on your turn?
The snowman have a point. That thing only deals force damage.
Is there anything else on your turn?
Like, that's all for now.
That is going to then bring us to Grilliam. What do you want to do?
Well, I'm just gonna pack a nice snowball and get a nice, good shot off. And I got my D20 ready to roll for this one. Do I have advantage, or I just rolled normally, or what?
If you're just gonna take a throw, or you're like readying?
I'm gonna take a throw at the one that's fairy fired, obviously.
Oh yeah, then you have advantage. Absolutely.
I'll roll this twice. No, that's not gonna. No, and
17 hits.
I'm not even gonna use my D4 on that. So.
17 hits, but as you jump up to throw the snowball, the one that has a readied action, in turn throws a snowball back at you. That's a 22.
Ow, staying
which you had some cover, and you take exactly 0 snow damage, but 0 snowball is a point. Grilliam, you've taken 1 hit, but you in turn deal a hit to that individual who's now taken 2. And you get that snowman kind of calls out, "Got him!" And that's going to then. Anything else on your turn, Grilliam?
Nope. I'm just besides getting back into my cover. No.
In that case, that is going to bring us to the snowman. He will. The one that is fairy fired is actually going to take this moment to run and start ducking his way back towards that kind of like central castle. And so he's just kind of running away at this point. The one that has not that other one's not doing anything. It's not his turn yet. That's going to bring us then to Orwell.
Which one's the one that's fairy fired or the one that's not fairy fired?
The one that's fairy fired is running. He ducks behind cover at the end of his turn.
Full cover,
but
or
he's
just like 3/4 cover?
At this point. No, it's never full, unless I'll say it's full. You just won't know they're there if it's full, basically.
Right.
He's still glowing though, so we
he's
can
still glowing.
know where.
Yeah, I'm going to
and
shoot
he's got
him.
half. All right, you're gonna have to run up a little bit in order to do that.
I'll move up
All right.
as little as I possibly can and still do it.
Actually, no, he full moved. So you'd have to move up 60 feet to be in range. He's just running right now. Now that I think about it, because it's still 60 feet is the range of frost, right?
Yes, Ray of Frost is 60 feet. Okay.
And you fired last time on the outside range of that, which means that you were exactly 60 feet, and he's just running directly away from you. So you could fire at the one that's behind cover, but you wouldn't be able to get in range and fire of the one that is fairy fire.
Right. Alright, I'll fire at the one that's behind cover.
That one's like a touch more because they ran a little bit. You can move 30 feet and then fire at that one.
Sure.
Alright.
Am I still able to get behind cover?
Yep, you can do that.
Okay.
There's enough cover in this kind of part of the area that you can always do that.
Shit.
Yeah, 7 is not unfortunately going to do it. You fire a blast and it strikes into the tree. Ineffectual in this moment. That is going to bring us to Lillili. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna move around so the one that was just attacked. I'm gonna move a little bit so I can see him a bit better, and then I'm gonna throw my snowball at him.
Yeah, you've been moving kind of laterally, so you actually just have a clear shot on this guy, because you guys are all kind of like surrounding, because you went to the left of him, so you can just throw straight ahead without any...
Okay, yeah, okay, then I will do that.
A D20 plus your proficiency plus your strength or dex.
I already got it. Oh, look at that.
It didn't matter if he had cover or not, because you just right in the snowball eye, like he kind of turns to look at you as he realizes that you're coming up from the side, but the snowball has already let fly, and right over one of his coal eyes is now just a big lump of a snowball that is fused to his body. He just goes,
Yeah.
he goes, "Ow!" You hear. And it's going to be his turn.
I still have a move.
Oh, my apologies.
Yes,
my apologies.
No. So I'm gonna move up to our wizard friend.
Okay, so you're moving like a little bit backwards from where you are right now.
That's
okay,
fine.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna go up to Orwell, and then while I'm there, I don't know if they stack, but will like Callie's bless and guidance stack?
Yeah, guidance only applies to skill checks, but if you have guidance, then that would stack with... No, actually, there's just no situation in which guidance would overlap with... Because guidance is for skill checks and bless is for attack rolls and saving
Oh,
throws.
yeah, you're right. Okay, never mind then. Okay, I guess, no, I'll bunker down beside him.
All right, you kind of hop down, you go to a tree immediately next to Orwell, and this snowman that just got hit, he's taken 1 hit now, and the one with fairy fire that's running away has 2 hits on him. He kind of runs back and starts retreating a little bit with his ally. He's not just doing a full sprint, because the other one is doing a full sprint back to that kind of central section. But he grabs another spot behind a tree, and that's the end of his turn. As we move back up to the top of the initiative, which is going to be like Callie. What do you want to do?
So, like, how far is he from everyone?
He's about, from you, from basically everyone right now, he's about 90 feet, which means anyone could move up and get in range to throw one at him. If you wanted to.
But he didn't, like, full move?
No, he only half moved.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Can we, like, throw these at disadvantage for longer ranges?
60 is the outside edge. If you have some kind of like way you can think of to get the snowball to go farther, other than just like throwing it harder, if you have like a trick or something, I'll let you try it.
And he's like hiding behind a tree.
Yep.
Well, Grilliam, we kind of need to break cover, so I'm gonna like run up 30 feet.
All right, you're gonna break the cover. In that case, as you get up to the, as you get up within range, he's going to throw a snowball back at you.
Yeah, like I expected that.
You take 1 as you hop up to the tree in your range, but he opens himself up as he throws.
Okay, I'm gonna like
Trade hit.
toss one at him.
Yeah, since he's bumped out at this point, that is going to hit. And you're on the kind of left of him, so you have the better angle. Yeah, he takes 0 snow damage and now has 2 hits.
And like with him under the tree, I'm gonna like have my other Callie like run up and hit the tree.
Other Callie was because other Callie was up near where he was anyway. All right, yeah, go ahead and make an attack roll, and then roll damage on it, because it definitely hits. 4 force damage. You whack into the tree, and as you do so, the tree kind of like shakes a little bit, and you watch as some of the collected, the candy cane branches up at the top, some of the collected snow falls down. He's going to make a dexterity saving throw, which...
fails, I think.
Well, there's no like DC for this, so... I guess I should have decided on a DC before I rolled, because I just assumed I was rolling. What's your spell save DC?
Like 12.
All right, yeah, he fails. As the kind of snow falls down from the tree that he's underneath, it piles down on top of him, and he just looks up and you just hear him go, "No!" And he gets kind of toppled in snow. He's kind of like spitting it out, and he just goes, "Ugh! Susan's gonna be so mad," and he just kind of floats downwards into the snow and dissolves into it in the way that you saw before.
So that
Like,
falling
hey guys,
snow
I melted him!
So wait, that falling snow counted as a quote-unquote snowball?
It looks like it counted as a quote-unquote snowball from here. It was intentionally hits snow that was intentionally targeted to strike, so it counted.
Good to know.
Very creative.
And that is going to bring us to the next in initiative, which is you, Grilliam.
Since the cover's not really needed, I'm just going to take the shield off and make it not total cover for me. And
very good.
And I'm going to try to head toward the one that was fairy fired.
All right, you're just going to... Yeah, you're just taking off. That one's gotten like a couple of rounds of just running away now, so it's going to be hard to catch up at this point. But you begin moving in that direction.
Okay. Well, so I can't like throw a snowball.
You wouldn't be able to get up in range and throw a snowball, unfortunately. No, he spent multiple turns dashing now. So at the moment, most of the threats that are in your immediate vicinity are away. If you guys want to take a second to regroup,
I feel like we should do that.
Maybe I shouldn't run. Maybe I should just like stay with the others. I'll move wherever the majority moves.
All right, yeah. So at this point, do you guys want to have regrouped?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, cool. We'll say that happens, and you have a moment of kind of relative calm here on the battlefield. What do you do?
So, we're better than Bartholomew.
Well,
I already knew that.
Well, Kelly, you have one hit on us.
He wouldn't need to hire adventurers if he was better than it.
Okay, so, who has a hit? I have one hit.
I also have one hit.
No hits.
None for me.
Okay, so, you two are leading the way.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I don't think that's a very good idea.
I mean, I guess.
I mean, if you want, I'll try to make cover with my shield on another snowbank.
My owl back? Oh.
Grillium, can you,
Oh, your owl's back, yeah.
Can you, magically shield one of these?
No, I do not have that spell prepared. I'm sorry.
Wait, you can raise your body temperature, right?
I could try one thing. I don't, though. I could try using a produce flame to melt the snowball coming at me.
Yeah, what if you just make yourself so hot snow just kind of melts before it hits you? That counts. I think that'd be okay.
It wouldn't melt fast enough. I'm pretty sure of that. Even if
I'm pretty sure that referee over there is also counting. The one with the poppers.
Well, still, while we're moving,
he kind of looks over and just goes, "Yeah, I'm here." I would still count that for sure.
While we're moving and we don't have any idea where they are, you can have a produce flame ready for if a snowball comes at us.
I'll say this, Orwell. You definitely saw where they were on the way back as your owl was flying over. There's a miniature castle made of ice, kind of in the shape of the Lord of the Duke of Winter's castle that's up on the mountain. That's kind of in the area where you are. It's just a miniature version of that. And Susan Snow was giving out orders from the top of it, from behind little turrets in it.
Okay.
Looks like they've all gathered there.
I'm gonna cast Mage Hand and hand Mage Hand a snowball and sort of have that on the ready while we're moving along.
I'll have a snowball.
I'll just assume that everyone has a snowball, even in each hand, if you guys want it, or.
With my shield in one hand, is it possible for me to use my Produce Flame? Because Produce Flame lasts 10 minutes if I'm not using it as a quote-unquote attack.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, here, Owl, you take a snowball.
Yeah, I'm going to use...
You get shield in left, fire in the right.
Yeah, and I'm going to use the fireball as a ready thing. You're going
to use it as to kind of contest a snowball coming at you.
Yeah, I'm going to use it to contest a snowball coming at me or my friends.
All right, wonderful. You begin so is that your strategy? You're just kind of walking, staying, behind cover as much as you can, but just moving slowly towards the castle as a group.
I'm going to play the support/defensive role.
All right, I love it.
present Callie like try to knock a snowball out of the air if one's coming for us?
Okay. Very good. In that case, you begin kind of moving your way closer, and as you're kind of moving up to the castle, you can see there's a bit of a clearing. They've gotten this defensive position, and it seems like they're in a pretty strong position. As around it, there's 30 feet of what looks like just frozen solid ice on the ground, creating like a moat of very slippery terrain around this little makeshift ice castle. Yeah, you guys are on the outskirts of it now, but as you're moving up and around cover, even though it's only 60 feet around, you see blazing at you from the top, Susan Snow chucks a snowball at a lightning speed that as of yet you have not seen, which flies at a much greater range, and begins moving towards you before you kind of get to this point. Even you weren't expecting anything quite yet, and that flies at you. But Grilliam and Callie, both of you have readied actions.
Yeah, so how would this work if I'm using a produce flame in this case? Would I contest the attack roll?
I want you to also make an attack roll, and if your attack roll is able to beat Susan Snow's attack roll, you will beat Susan Snow and melt the snowball that's coming at you. So go ahead and make an attack roll. 14 does not, unfortunately,
not even with the bless. That would.
Oh yeah, you have bless too. Bless has probably got about 2 rounds left in it because you had some like walking and some talking, which is I think probably realistically it's gone. But I'll give you 2 more rounds of bless.
Okay, so who?
Like that block though.
You did it, I'm sorry to say this after you rolled it, but I was going to give you disadvantage because you're not using fire to melt a snowball and just trying to like swing with the thing. So I'm sorry to say it after you did a really good roll.
It's a baseball.
But you were going to be at disadvantage.
It's like a baseball.
Yeah, throwing a baseball at another baseball is a lot harder when the baseball isn't designed to like specifically beat the other baseball.
That's like a bat.
That's how I'm rolling it.
Spiritual weapon.
Yeah, but like it's
like
not
it's a hammer. You described it as a hammer.
Okay, what I'm saying, and this will be the final word on the subject, is that striking a snowball out of midair
is way easier than shooting it with fire. Yes.
I disagree because the fire has an AOE. So the snowball flies and strikes. The target was chosen without any thought. It strikes Lillili, actually, and you take 1 hit, Lillili. And you have a snowball strike against you. The other snowmen don't appear to have the ability to attack at range, but you hear from within the little snow castle. You can still see. How long does fairy fire last?
It lasts. Let me see.
The information. I have fairy fire.
Up to 1 minute.
Okay. Fairy fire, you can still see the little bit of light kind of glowing from inside of it. Bless is still up, that is still up.
Okay, let's get moving then.
So yeah, you guys are out to a little bit farther of a range, and Susan Snow just kind of yells out, "Got him! Got him! Still got it!"
I got a plan for this ice if we want to get closer.
Do tell.
Yes.
Go for
it. She's going to cast Entangle and create like a web of vines moving out across over top of the ice so they have something to grip.
Oh, that's really cool.
And I believe as a trash druid, I actually have a thing where
your
my
allies ignore.
Yep, my allies can ignore rough terrain. Ha 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 ha.
That is actually perfect. There's only because like I said, it was 30 feet around it, so it's 20 feet. So there's just a little spot at the end of it where there's a little bit, but it's going to be way easier. That is a really good. You always got the best uses of entangle, Lillili.
I don't think I've ever once used it to actually entangle an enemy.
Yeah, I think there was one time you entangled a giant, but I think that's it. Otherwise, it's just been utility, which is awesome. All right, yeah, you do this. You create this kind of thing up above, or up ahead a little bit. What's everyone else doing at this time? I'm going to have you guys just take your initiative as a collective. So that's what Lillili does, sets up this entangle.
So, the whole thing is 30 feet away, right?
Yeah.
30 feet.
The 30 feet for the moat specifically. You guys are a little bit outside of where the moat is. It's 60 feet to get from the edge of the forest, and then 30 feet for the moat.
Okay, so we're 90 feet away from the castle.
Yeah, you're a little bit farther right now.
Right.
And like, how high is the castle as far as range for snowballs go?
The castle's height looks like it's maybe like 25 feet. It's like a little mock castle. It's more, it's regular house kind of sized.
Okay, so like, when have you get up there? Don't worry, I got you.
Callie, are you moving right now? Susan's like, taking her time right now to get another snowball ready, because she used her kind of action for this round, so.
So like, I'm gonna get 30 feet up.
Alright, so you're right to the edge of the clearing now.
Yeah.
Alright,
and
cool.
like, so if we're 60 feet up, we have range on her, right?
Yeah, she's like, well, the thing is you have range on like the castle, but she's kind of like in the middle of it and behind cover. She's got you like a little bit outgunned. You'd have to like step into the clearing proper to get range.
Well, yeah, but like, if we get 60 feet out, like, we'll have range on her.
Yeah, you can, I'm not going to cover the vertical distance.
Oh, okay. So like, I'm gonna get 30 feet up, and like, I'm gonna tell somebody to like get 60 feet up, and then end their turn, and then I'll take my action, which will be protecting them and allowing them to fire.
Okay, I'm going to send my familiar over to the castle.
Alright, yeah, it flies over.
You just hang it out.
It kind of launches down on the top of it. I want your familiar to, at this point, because it's been lurking around them for a little bit now, I want your familiar to make me a deception check. Because it's not stealthing, it's being very much an owl in plain sight. It's just hoping to rely on the fact that it's an owl. And
let's see. 2. It's not very deceptive.
Susan Snow looks over at your familiar, and she kind of gestures to one of a couple of the other snowmen that are sitting there. I'm pretty sure that that's somebody's familiar. I know familiars when I've seen one, and that owl, well, it's just sitting there, and owls are nocturnal. And 2 of the other snowmen look like they're gonna get him on their next round.
If you harm it, you're disqualified.
Oh no, if I harm you, I'm disqualified. Harming your magic is like blowing up our snowballs in midair. Same thing.
Fair enough.
Thank you. This one talks sense. I like you.
Stay in the air, owl.
Yes, like the fireman.
I ship it.
And that's gonna bring us to who hasn't gone yet? Oh, Orwell has taken an action. Callie and Lillili have taken
I
an
actually
action.
haven't.
Oh, you just moved your. Oh, that was just the thing. Yeah.
I have not taken action yet, but
All right.
so this clearly is basically out completely in the open, right?
Yep.
So,
And like, Callie has crossed half the clearing. Or
but this is
part of the
bad
clearing.
because there's no cover for me, and with the shield, it's just a 12 AC for me. So
A little
Just
rough.
like, go.
What exactly is your plan to protect us?
I'm
Alchemist.
just gonna once again, I'm gonna cast my produce flame again, and only move 30 feet.
Okay. So you're just gonna get right up to the edge of the clearing where Callie is.
Yep.
All right. In that case, Orwell.
I will not do that. I'm going to start sending my mage hand in that general direction.
All right. How far? Your mage hand can only go a certain distance from you, right?
I can only go... Can it?
I'm gonna check.
I think it can go beyond on 30 feet. Oh no, it can only move 30 feet away. Never mind. Can it throw?
Make a spellcasting check. Not as well as you. It only has 10 pounds of force. I'll give it a throw distance of I'll give it a throw distance of 20.
Hold on, pause. But does that count as using the mage hand to attack? Because otherwise, you can't do that.
You don't know. You'll have to wait and see if they count it.
No, you know what? I'll just keep the name. I will ready a ray of frost if anything gets close enough for me to hit it.
All right,
Without moving?
You're with. I assume you're moving up to the edge of the clearing.
Am I still behind cover if I do that?
Yeah. The clearing is the end of the clearing is the end of the forest and the beginning of open ground before the little castle. So that's all of you have action, which means it's Susan Snow's turn. For one thing, the two.
That was flying. He's not just sitting there.
Oh yeah, I just assumed it was there. The two snowmen are going to that were trying to get it are going to. They look at the owl, and one of them just takes off an arm and throws it at it. 25 to hit. It deals essentially unarmed strike damage. Very self-satisfied, which means it deals 2 damage to the owl. Is that enough to finish off the owl?
Let's find out.
I
Man.
don't even know how much.
Wait, oh no, I'm sorry. That was Susan Snow. It should have been a 19
yes,
plus
it's enough
3.
to finish off the owl.
Oh no! That snowman just kind of calls out, "I did it! I did it!" Oh no, the one that had the deep voice died. He calls out, "I did it! I did it!" And the other snowman in that case doesn't have an attack because it can't throw snowballs that far, but Susan Snow certainly does. You guys are all behind. You guys are all behind cover, but she's just going to take a throw your way, Orwell, anyway. 25, even with your 3/4. Oh no, sorry, disadvantage because of the big cover. 10. Orwell.
Well, forget my ready action. I shield.
All right. You shield, and the snowball, which was aimed with incredible precision, misses you. Even though it's about to hit you behind the tree. That is all for Susan Snow's turn. It is all of you. I'm just going to have you guys, again, take your actions at the same time. But one of the snowmen that's at the top, or actually 2 of the snowmen that are at the top, are also kind of readying actions now. What do you all do?
I am going to try to move as close as possible, and I'm going to try to do Fairy Fire again.
All right. What's the range on Fairy Fire?
There's 60 feet. Fairy Fire is 60 feet, I think. 60 feet. Right?
Yes, it is 60 feet.
All right, so you have to move a little bit out into the open in order to do it, but you can get literally all of the snowmen with it.
Hashtag worth it.
All right. As you kind of run out, the 2 snowmen that are there with their kind of ready to actions are both going to throw snowballs at you. But this is all happening. So actually, this is all happening simultaneously. So everyone, tell me what they're going to do.
Like as Lillili reaches that place. Wait, so what happens with reactions as far as us all going at once?
I mean, they'll just take their reaction because if you want, I can just do it one at a time and have them both.
like me giving a reaction to someone else because that's like how I work. And this is like completely taking that out.
Oh, well, it will work the way that you want it to in the situation, because I'm not going to screw you over for that. So if you want to just do it, then you can do it before they do their thing.
Then, as soon as Lillili reaches, range, I'm going to, Sanctuary her so that she could also take a shot after her fairy.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Girl.
And are you going to stay on the outskirts, or are you going to also move in?
I'm going to, move in, 5 feet behind her.
Okay,
So
you're kind of following up behind.
Yeah, so that means I'm 5 feet out of their range.
That's excellent. You Sanctuary, in that case, that is going to Orwell and Grilliam. What are you 2 doing?
They have to make saving throws if they're attacking her.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. That's a bonus action, so I'm actually going to run up all the way.
Oh, okay. Well, you're just moving as fast as you can alongside Lillili, who's also moving quick.
And also take my own snowball hit after her fairy fire goes off.
Are you going to dash? Or are you just going to take an action to throw?
Just take an action throw.
Alright, go ahead and make an attack roll.
Well, I want to see how the fairy fire resolves first.
Oh, right. Yeah, they have to.
This is declare everything at once because you're all doing this at once. If you want, we can not do it, but I don't want to play it like that much.
Okay, then. I'll just take my throw then.
Okay. 7.
Yeah.
You toss one up at Susan. That's gonna Grilliam and Orwell. What are you guys doing?
I'm going to. No, I'm actually going to. Hold on. I have a produce. I'm going.
Give me a second to think about it. We can do Orwell first.
Now it's an ice castle. Is there walls around the castle too?
Yeah, it's just like a little castle made of ice.
And with walls around it, and then a moat.
Yeah, and then a moat, and they're on like a little higher up layer. It seems like there's a room at the bottom of it, and then they're on the roof of it where there's like some open space.
Okay. And does this castle look sturdy? Is it ice or is it snow?
It's ice.
Okay. I'm going to move out and just shoot at Susan.
All right, go ahead and make an attack roll. Absolutely hits. And Grilliam, what's your play?
I'm going to move up 30 feet with my produced flame still active on on one hand and a shield in the other. I'm going to be near Lillili.
So, like, we're all together.
Yep, you guys are all a huge pile. And
Yeah.
And what do? You're gonna throw a snowball, or?
He's, like, playing defense.
Yeah, I'm playing defense. I don't have a free hand.
Wonderful.
I don't have
in that case, you cast Sanctuary on Lillili. Lillili, do you want to take your reaction to throw a snowball?
No, can I hold my action?
You can't hold.
You're casting Fairy Fire.
Oh yeah, I'm casting Fairy Fire.
So yeah, it was just like a thing granted to you by by Callie.
It's just like a free thing.
It's
just a free throw, basically.
It's a
okay, and it won't.
I would have taken it.
Sanctuary, will it?
No, it won't.
Okay, yeah, then I'll totally take it. Yeah.
All right, go ahead and make an attack. Are you attacking Susan Snow or one of the other ones?
I'm going for Susan Snow. She's scary.
All right, go for it. Oh man, you also hit Snooze and Toe. In this first rush on the castle, both of you hit Susan, who's up on the top of the tower, even through the half cover that she has from some of like the turrets and stuff. You strike her twice, and she goes, "Wait a minute, this isn't how this is supposed to go!" And she begins kind of like ducking down a little bit into the castle to make sure she's out of sight from this point. But the two that have readied actions are both going to go and try and throw at you, Lillili, and they're going to make wisdom saving throws. And one of them succeeds and one of them fails. One of them has to pick a new target. So one of them throws at you through Sanctuary. That's 11 to hit, Lillili, does it? It ignores armor, so it's just based on your dex.
This is based on my dex, then no, it does not hit.
Ooh! You dodge out of the way of the snowball. The other one is going to fly instead because they pick a new target at you, Callie. Oh, well, I don't know how that works, but they crit fail, it's fine. It just misses. Also,
they like all have to make their dex saves. For Fairy Fire.
Oh, and yes, they have to make a huge pile of dex saves for Fairy Fire. What's your spell save DC? I just made them all for Susan Snow. That's unfair. I'll just make the first one for Susan Snow.
12.
Because I forgot to use the regular snowman for their regular dex saves, because they don't have as high of bonuses. So one of them fails. Jesus, those are some ridiculous rolls. So
wait, how many are up there?
There's only 3 of them. I rolled Susan Snow's, there's 4 of them up there, but I rolled Susan Snow's dex save for them 4 times instead of rolling 1 Susan Snow dex save, and then 3 regular ones.
Oh.
Okay.
So sorry about that. That's my mistake. Susan Snow kind of gets hit twice and kind of ducks down as it's now the snowman collected turn. You guys are all kind of in the thick of it to a degree here, and Susan kind of ducks down into the house a little bit. She's actually going to take 1 snowball toss, also going for just the front runner. Lillili will make a wisdom save, fails, and instead goes for you, Callie.
I'm gonna use my produce flame.
Yes, use your produce flame. Go ahead and roll.
Yeah.
Actually, you're blessed.
Oh no, you're still blessed. This is the last round of blessed, which means you always succeed on this. Which you melt Susan snowball as it flies in to hit Callie.
Nice try. Nice try.
Thanks, Fireboy. You're looking pretty hot.
I'm flattered. Thank you.
And the other 3 snowmen who are just at the top, one of which is fairy fired, and one of which is at 2 hits already. You can see they still have the snowballs like kind of sticking out in their bodies, so you can tell which one it is. They are just going to throw down a volley, and again, or they have to make a wisdom save to go after the front runner first, which they succeed. Lillili, that's an 18 against you.
That's Susan Snow's.
Oh god, I do this every time. I'm sorry, I keep doing this. They're not nearly as good as Susan. So it's a 13 wisdom saving throw, which still succeeds, and a 12 to hit. Lillili, does 12 hit?
And that was just my base dex?
Yes.
No, it does not hit.
Oh man, you're a dexterous person.
It's based on your AC plus your dex bonus is what they're saying.
Yeah, like she has 3 decks.
Yeah, she's just a dexterous individual. The next one's gonna also make a wisdom save, which it fails, and is instead going to throw at you, Grilliam, which misses you with a 7.
That's not
and the last one will make a wisdom save, which it succeeds, and throw again at you, which it misses again. Oh no, they're incompetent! As they all throw a bunch of snowballs, and this was their kind of like kill round, but they kind of duck back behind cover and are now in rough spot.
And the only snowball that would have hit got intercepted.
Susan Snow, on her turn, just ducks into the castle and does something. And that's going to be the end of the collected foe turn. And because I think it was messing up Callie a little bit, I'm going to go back to the original initiative, the way things were set up before, because I think that was thrown off the way your mechanics work. So sorry about that. And we will do that starting now, which brings us to the top of the initiative, which was, in fact, Callie. What do you want to do?
So, like, I'm gonna run 30 feet up, so, like, I'm 30 feet away from everyone, right?
All right, yeah, you're at the entrance to the castle. Right when you get to the end, you walk over the kind of vines and stuff, but you get to a chunk of the ice, but it's still a little bit icy. Which means if you want to walk the 30 feet to get into, like, the threshold of the castle, you can, you have to make a dexterity saving throw to walk over this ice or fall prone.
Well, like, how far am I from everything? From all of the enemies?
The enemies are up on the castle, so you'll be, like, at the base of the castle, so they'll be, like, right above you.
But, like,
Susan Snow's somewhere in it. Just, like, 25 feet up.
Okay, then I'm going to, like, not that one. I apologize. That one.
Each creature that can see or hear you. Do you want to be see or hear?
Like, here, I'm just gonna be yelling up there.
All right.
Who do you want this to affect, us or them?
Them.
Like them.
They're gonna make wisdom saving throws. But one of them fails, and Susan Snow is also can't hear you. And Susan also fails. Nice.
As I yell out, everyone, like, I'm here, disarm yourselves, and just walk out for us.
Oh man, you want them to drop what they are holding, which in Susan, they don't have to necessarily go that far. Like, Charm doesn't give you complete control, but they're all holding snowballs, and you see them just kind of, like, drop down their snowballs, including Susan, who was waiting with some kind of devastating action that she was going to do when you walked in. You see, she had kind of, like, in her arms, like, 20 snowballs, and she just kind of lets all of them go up ahead a little bit in the castle foyer, and she goes, I'm not coming over there, but I mean, these would kind of hurt if I threw them at you, wouldn't it? And you seem like such a nice little girl. Okay. And she drops all of her snowballs on the ground for her big cool move. And
then, like, I guess, kind of, like, try to run up to, like, the side of the castle to, like, take cover?
So you want to go not over to the threshold and gate and just over to the edge, the side of it? Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
You're gonna have to still make me a dex save to walk on the ice.
Like, sure.
You do so without issue. You move nimbly as we move next in initiative, which I believe was Grilliam next.
Well, if I can go 30 feet, then
They're all unarmed right now.
That's very. And one of them I can get advantage on at this point with a snowball. Interesting. Had an idea about getting across that moat without having to make a dex save, though. So.
Well, I mean, how much of it got covered with the vines?
20 feet out of the 30, so just 10 feet.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna do so. Once again, thaumaturgy to the rescue here. To use thaumaturgy on myself as I walk across the ice to make my fires brighter and make the ice melt, so I don't have to make a dex save.
Yeah, absolutely. As you're walking across the ice, you take 30 feet, use your action to thaumaturgy, and the ice melts a little bit under your feet. You get up to the threshold without issue. You see Susan Snow directly in front of you.
I don't have an action. I already used my action though, so crap.
Is that all for your turn? You have a bonus action if you want to use one.
I don't. Do I have a bonus action at all? I don't. I'm trying to see. What do I have? Oh.
What's it gonna be? You gotta make a choice.
I'm gonna would Shield of Faith count?
Absolutely. You have an extra +2 to your AC from your Shield of Faith.
Yeah,
which brings us to
Faith on myself.
Which brings us to Susan Snow, who is going to. She didn't get to do this as her readied action when you guys got up to the door, but she is going to do it now as she walks up to you. She walks up to you, Grilliam, and she just kind of. Once again, her arms kind of all of a sudden fill up with a whole bunch of snowballs. She hits just one person with this effect. Go ahead and make me a dexterity saving throw.
Crud. Good.
Wow, very good.
Succeed.
You take half damage from this devastating technique, which would have been 2 snowballs, but instead take half damage, so 1 snowball.
I'm still in the game.
As she uses her Susan Snowball Storm and spins around in a circle, and snowballs just whip out. You duck and dodge, but it's impossible not to get at least 1. And then she kind of begins. You watch as the snowballs kind of fly out. The range on it was fairly close, it looks like. Callie, you're totally fine because you ducked around the side, and she wasn't allowed to use it on you anyway. Additionally, the 2 of you that were farther back aren't in the range of it. So I think it's 1 person, and begins kind of hustling back up the stairs, but she's still in plain view. That's going to bring us to Orwell.
I'll move up, and now, am I at a point where I can see through the threshold and see her on the stairs?
Yep, you can just shoot at her, and she's in plain view. Yep.
Great, I'll do that.
And Susan is out of the game as a snowball flies up and hits Susan in the back. She just goes, "No!"
And I just snicker and grin as I'm literally like right in front of her.
Rules is rules, though! And she just kind of also kind of disappears and blends into the ground and magics away.
I'll cross the moat.
All right, yeah, you're right into the base of the castle. There's 3 snowmen left up above, one of whom has already taken 2 snowballs, and that is going to bring us to Lillili. What do you want to do?
Right, so there's the 2 snow dudes left.
There's 3 left. One of them has 2 hits, and one of them has fairy fire on them.
Alright, I'm gonna try to maneuver myself to be able to hit the, I'll go for the one that's got 2 hits.
Alright, you could throw up at them, like, up on top of the roof before you go up, but you'd have to, like, go in and then go in the little staircase into the castle to get up onto the roof to hit him, which would take a dash action to get in range. Or you could try and hit him on the roof, but there'd be a little cover there. These tactical situations.
And what's our team at? Sorry, I know I've got 1 hit. Is anybody at 2?
I have 2.
Grilliam's at 2. Callie's at 2.
Alright, you know what I'm gonna do instead? I'm gonna stay outside, and I'm going to ready a spell.
Alright, you ready a spell. Is that all? Do you want to move right up to the edge of the threshold, or are you just going to stay where you are, like...
I'm
right
gonna stay where I have a fairly clear view of them.
All right, yeah, so you stay kind of right where you're at, and that's going to bring us to them, who are going to come over the edge, and they reconjure their snowballs, and are going to throw them down at you, Lillili, and make a pile of wisdom saving throws. Because you're the only one they can get, which one succeeds, and this one fails, and that one also fails, so only one of them gets to attack you, and there's... no, they can go directly down. Orwell made it into the threshold. No, Grilliam also did, so... and they're not allowed to attack Callie until the start of Callie's next turn, so they just waste their turns. One of them crits you! For 2 snowball! No, I'm just joking, it's still only 1 snowball.
In which case, can I use my ready
Yeah, what's your ready to action?
So I am going to cast upwards into the air, sort of towards them, but not entirely. I am going to cast, if I can find where the spell went, hold on. Where'd it go? Oh yes, Gust of Wind. I am trying to use it to deflect the snowballs.
You know what? Absolutely. I'm not even going to, like, because that's a second level spell. That's like a powerful effect. They don't even roll. Like, as the snowball comes down as a reaction, you gust of wind upward, and the snowball just whoop, bounces up and away and completely whiffs. And they are done with their round, which brings us to the top of the initiative. Nicely done, Lillili. That's going to bring us to Callie once more.
Okay, so, like, everybody... Can anyone else see the snowman?
No one right now, except for Lillili, can see the snowmen.
But are they still in cover?
Yeah, well, they're on the roof, so they're kind of like in cover.
Okay, well then, I'm just gonna cast, like, where's this? Where's it? Like, Bless? At, like, 2nd level, so we all get it, and have Lillili take an attack.
Alright, you're all blessed, and Lillili, take another throw. Or just a free one.
Pow.
But this one will end the sanctuary on you.
That's okay, I'm fine with that.
Alright, throw away.
I gotta aim for the one that only has that has 2 hits on him.
It has 2 quarters cover, but that... I'm sorry, not 2 quarters. Yeah, 2 quarters cover, I guess he does have. And...
That's accurate.
That extra 2 to AC does not stop at 24. You beat him in the head. 2 snowmen remain. You are on the verge of victory here in this arena.
And then I'm gonna, like, make my way into the threshold.
Alright, I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw to walk back across the ice.
Oh, how fun. It's, like, slippery, okay?
Oh, the bless isn't gonna do it. Callie, you go to walk back into the threshold, and you slip upon the ice. You fall prone, and your movement ends, unfortunately. But still, a pretty good round. In that case, that's going to bring us to Grilliam. What do you want to do, Grilliam?
I'm gonna be very tactical about this. I'm gonna get a nice packed snowball, and I'm going to enter the castle to get behind the snowmen.
Yeah, there's some very beautifully already pre-packed ones in here. It looks like they were stockpiling up in case they ran into an issue, which is dumb because they can conjure them. So you grab one, and what are you doing exactly?
I'm gonna throw one of them at the back of their head.
Are you just gonna run up and throw it at them? Yeah, just make a straight ahead attack.
Like fairy fire? They're not.
Oh yeah, never mind. Advantage. You're attacking the one with fairy fire. And just point blank, no bonuses. That does actually barely hit. You hit him. You hit him. That'll be your turn.
Right in the back. Yeah,
he goes.
Right in the back.
He goes. Hey. That's gonna bring us to. That's gonna bring us to Orwell.
Okay, I will walk up the steps.
Yep.
And look at them and say, which one of you harmed my... as I'm sort of reaching into a pocket.
One of them doesn't have an arm.
I see. I take out this sort of whitish blue chili pepper and I chomp on it. And I'm like, well, I'll hit both of you. Why not? And I breathe cold dragon breath upon them. Snowballs shooting out of my mouth.
They both take a snowball either way, so they just both get hit by a snowball. There's nothing they can do about it, and it's now 2-1 on these 2 remaining dudes as you breathe snowballs out into space, and they go, ow! and ow!
Now, how much move was that? All 30 feet of movement?
Yeah, that's your turn, probably.
Yeah.
Lillili, what's the play? There's a fearsome battle atop the castle.
Yeah, and I'm still standing down out front, and the one that's fairy fired is my target.
Yes, go ahead and make an attack with advantage. And the one that's fairy fired, a high lob snowball. A high lob snowball flies up on top of the castle and hits him right on the dome, and that's 4 snowmen down, but 1 remains. Whose turn it is? He looks around at his situation and decides to turn his attention towards you, Grilliam. He's like, I'm taking you down with me! And he's going to throw a snowball at you, Grilliam. It's an 11.
14 AC, you're not
No! He fails. And with that, you guys can describe your collective killing blow on the final snowman who has 2 snowballs left to take.
I mean, I just dragon breath him.
Yeah, I mean, I know, but does everyone else want to get him?
That's mine.
I'll run up and dragon breath him as well.
Everybody,
Ooh.
all at once. Just everybody all at once.
Weird question. Do these snowmen have parrot noses as well?
They don't have parrot noses. No, they don't.
Parrot noses.
Actually,
Carrot noses. Carrot noses.
Can I,
Yes, absolutely.
That's what
Can I get
I
a
thought-
wisdom save from him first?
Yeah.
Oh dang. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. I'm not going down without a fight. And then you guys absolutely pummel him with a pile of snowballs and dragon breaths. And
Did anyone ever see that movie Snow Day?
No, I've never.
I have.
No,
Yes.
my
They
snow-
pummel
snow
the
Grilliam
truck
bros.
driver with it.
This is that.
Oh,
Yes.
this is that.
No, my snowball just gets impaled on the carrot.
It sticks. He's Rudolph the snow-nosed reindeer. The snowball is defeated. You have won the day!
Yay!
Congratulations, all of you, upon your victory here. In this, the final hour of the boss battle, all of the boss battle, all of the snowmen kind of reform in this moment. They kind of materialize on top of the castle. Bartholomew kind of teleports in, and he looks kind of smugly across the way at Susan Snow, who's still wearing Bartholomew's rainbow-colored robe. And Bartholomew says, I do believe that we have been victorious on this day, largely thanks to my leadership, but with some help from my adventurers here.
Bartholomew, why are you looking so smug, Mr. One Round?
You immediately got taken out.
I won this battle the moment that I was allowed to invite you. So I won it a long time ago.
It's true,
but-
I took 0 hits.
But all of this semantics involved.
You took 3.
I believe I earned a robe. And you see begrudgingly Susan Snow goes, oh, well, I'm going to miss lording it over you every year, Bartholomew, but here is your robe. And removes Bartholomew's Bartholomew rainbow robe, which he is now able to wear once more. Takes it out gleefully. And he turns to the 4 of you and says, I don't know if I'm supposed to do this. I think Roger would yell at me. Usually there's some higher stakes, so to speak, but really, in my opinion, these are the highest stakes we've ever had. So I think that the 4 of you are up for a promotion. And turns to the group of you. And I do just so happen to have, and snaps his fingers, a bunch of confetti rains down, as he's allowed to use magic now, and 4 kind of trays appear, just kind of floating in the space that he's getting ready to kind of bestow upon each of you. The surrounded and collected audience applauds. So why don't we just go ahead and turn this straight into a titling ceremony, if you are so inclined. And Bartholomew begins kind of stepping up to each of you in turn, and first walks up before you, like Callie, and kind of produces in front of you a tray containing a sum of 400 Bartholomew bucks in the Bartholomew coin form, and looks to you and says, like Callie, you have proven over your course of your time here in the land of DnDTime to be an invaluable asset to our adventuring troop. While you have a tendency to be a bit flighty with which gods you worship on a day-to-day basis. I believe that flexibility has made you an asset, one that I treasure as one of our own here amongst our troop.
Like, that's their fault, not mine.
And I'm inclined to, agree. Do you have, or have you chosen your title, Callie?
Can I suggest a title for Callie?
Hold on a sec, Max. No, let Callie do it.
So, a title is, how people refer to me, right?
Indeed.
And, I know my title. It's, Kelly. She's, the best.
I was gonna say a boss, but that works too.
And so you shall be known throughout the realm as, Callie, the best.
No, she's, the best.
She's, the best.
There we go.
It will take me I am not hip to all of the young speak over at the Academy of Light. It may take me some time, but I think Roger's a hipper dude than I, so he may be able to. Is dude still said?
Depends. But,
perhaps we could talk about it at a later time.
Yeah,
Callie,
depends very well.
She's the best, and hands you your Bartholomew coins proper, and there's some cheering from around in the audience, and he then moves
you
next.
Probably hear my horse watching too. My pony's probably watching.
Yes, your pony in the distance watching as he moves up next to you, Orwell Nox.
Does that hurt?
Orwell, you are I apologize that you have fallen as a rival as of late. You've lost your powers, and that is, a bit of a shame, as you are one of the, I admit begrudgingly, better wizards that I've ever met. I have no doubt in time that you will restore them, and having you on the adventuring troop is an asset, no doubt. Orwell, have you chosen your title?
Well, let's see. I do like the ring of the better wizard, so to say. Looking at him with a smug grin, but
I'm not allowed to refuse that.
But I won't do that to you, Bartholomew. I was I'm a transmutation expert, so I don't know, the Alchemist. Simple.
So you shall be known, Orwell Nox, the Alchemist.
Wait, no one else is known by that yet, right? I feel like that's a title someone could have taken.
No, that's a good one for sure. That's one that on day one of a video game, people would have chopped up, but it is yours.
Okay. Now I have to hand this money off.
And he hands you the big cash, and steps along in line to Grilliam. Grilliam, Inferno. Your fiery disposition, which mimics your form very well, has been invaluable. While you started out as, to some degree, an individual in service of your kingdom and your prince, you have proven yourself strong in your own right, strong enough to stand on your own against any competitor. Grilliam, have you chosen your title?
Yes, I have already. I've been thinking about this for quite a while. I want to be known as the General of Flames.
The General of Flames is a fitting title indeed. And Bartholomew hands you your Bartholomew coins and says, "And so you shall be known throughout the realm."
Oh, and before I forget, surprise snowball! Snowballs him in the face.
Bartholomew, as it gets right up to his face, it just disintegrates, and he says, "I can use magic now, fool."
Well, it was worth a try.
I'm just joking with you. It actually hit me. That's an illusion, and the illusion disappears, and his face is covered in snowball. And he wipes it off, moves down to you, Lillili. Lillili, you have a degree of thriftiness and respect for both your surroundings and the environment that only one of your kingdom could possibly have. You carry their will in your every fiber, and for that I have the greatest amount of respect and admiration for you as an adventurer. Lillili, very crafty, I suppose, is a way I could put it, but it's much more than that. Have you chosen your title?
Well, titles aren't something I ever really thought of before, because I never thought I'd come this far. Is it alright if I think about it for a while?
But of course, many adventurers have chosen no title or taken one later on. You may make the decision when you are ready, Lillili. And he hands you your plate of Bartholomew bucks, and with that, kind of claps his hands. There's another kind of sudden explosion of confetti in the space. Susan Snow kind of calls out, "Y'all were really good in that snowball fight. I didn't think, I thought I was just gonna straight up beat you, but you dears were very good at it. I hope to play again next year, maybe. I do this every year.
Like, you did straight up beat him.
Yes.
Oh, I beat him every time. I tricked him into not using magic, because he would have just run train on me without magic. Or with magic. But there's a smattering of applause as you have this conversation, and congratulations, you've all been promoted to Fabled tier adventurers. And Bartholomew says one last word. May your adventures, you'll be facing greater challenges in the future. May you overcome them as you've overcome all before. Congratulations.
Lillili gives him a hug and says, "Happy holidays."
And God bless us, everyone. And goes in and gives you a big hug back. And with that, you concluded this, but...
One thing, I would have, from the top of the castle, just land in the pile of snow and do a snow angel.
you do so. And...
Wait, did we learn the meaning of solstice?
The true meaning of solstice is that I always win eventually.